Excuse my shoes, they don't quite fit. You see, they're a special offer, and they hurt me a bit.
Holding in the way, that's what I heard him say. They used to heed the words he said, but that was yesterday. Gold will turn to gray, and youth will fade away. They'll never care about you, call you holding in the way.
Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Old Men in Chairs. We've had quite a week around here. On Monday, I recorded my reaction to Chris Stapleton's national anthem, and then compared it to the late great Marvin Gaye's national anthem from 1983. 5 days later, Friday afternoon, we've had almost 6,000 views on that, which is a lot for a little bitty channel like mine. Also, a lot of good debate as to who did the best national anthem ever. I think those two are in the running for sure. Still kind of waiting for some of the big dogs to drop some more music. Eagerly anticipating Chris Webby with Raw Thought 6 or Tom McDonald with the next song off his album, or both maybe to come out next week, including possibly a new video from Mr. Upchurch. So we'll have to see. But in the meantime, I thought I would go back to a golden oldie of mine. I believe the Kinks are one of the greatest bands in rock and roll history, perhaps somewhat underrated and not as well known in this country. They're a British band. They had some problems when they first came to America. They didn't get a musician's union card, and therefore they ended up getting banned from performing in the country for a couple of years in the late 60s, which kind of put them at a disadvantage. In my opinion, the Kinks never recorded a bad song. I don't know of one. Every song. And they had a recording career that went from 1964 up at least to the end of the century. This particular song, Low Budget, is very, very topical today. Are you on a low budget? I think a lot of people are right now with the prices increasing and all the problems we're having in this country and the economy. The song came out in 1979, so those problems are not new. I think you can relate. 44 years later, not much has changed. That is Ray Davies, the songwriter and lead singer of the Kinks, getting ready to perform there with his back to us in the white shirt. But that guitar solo was his brother Dave Davies. And it's a classic Kink hard rock sound with the heavy on the fuzz tone and the distortion, which Dave Davies practically pioneered, going all the way back to one of their first hits, You Really Got Me. And Dave said he particularly enjoyed this song for being able to really rock out. Funny thing about the two brothers, they didn't really get along for decades. Hardly spoke to each other. But when they got on the stage, all that was forgotten and they were still able to make beautiful music together. This song, as I said, came out in 1979. It was the B-side on the single to Wish I Could Fly Like a Superman. So it did receive some radio play, being the B-side. And it later became the title of the album, the low budget album, which came out that same year. But it's a song that perhaps is not very well known. I think it's one of their best, but then again, I think they have about 100 great songs. So you could pick almost any Kinks song, but I want to start with this one.
Cheap and small, not too steep, but best of all, cheap is cheap. Circumstance has forced my hand to be a cut price person in a low budget land. Times are hard, but we all survive. We just gotta learn to economize on a low budget. What did you say? Low budget. Low budget. I'm a cut price person in low budget land.
Ray was such a tremendous songwriter, wrote so many quirky little songs. But this particular one, his performance is campy. It's humorous. About a subject that's not terribly humorous. If you're on a low budget and you have to economize and you can't afford to buy the things that you want, that's not a funny situation. That's a very serious situation. But Ray kind of uses a little dark humor, if you will, a little black humor to talk about that and make you laugh even if you're in some pain.
I'm a cut person in low budget land. Excuse my shoes, they don't quite fit. You see, they're a special offer, and they hurt me a bit. Even my trousers are giving me pain. Still, they're reduced in the sale, so I shouldn't complain. They squeeze you tight, I can't stand no more. They're a size 28, but I'll take 34. I'm a low budget. What did you say? Low budget. Say it again. Low budget. I fool you, say that right. Say it right, come on. Low budget. What did you say? Low budget. Say it again. Low budget. Yeah. Oh yeah. Come on, baby.
Have you ever had to buy a size 28 when you really wear a size 34? I imagine that would be a tight fit. I've always felt that this song is also a little bit of a satire of the Rolling Stones. The whole musical style kind of reminds me of the Stones, and then him talking about wearing the tight pants obviously reminds me of Mick Jagger. So I don't know if he ever intended that, but that's the way I've always heard it.
Oh yeah. Come on, baby. I'm shopping at Woolworths, low discount stores, dropping my standards so I can buy more. Quality costs, but quality waste, so I'm giving up all of my expensive taste. We're all running rapid, all going scared. I used to serve cigars, now I stop parabbit. On a low budget. What did you say? Low budget. Say it again. Low budget. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, just have a good time.
The great Dave Davies with that guitar solo. He talked there about shopping at Woolworths. Of course, the song is 44 years old. If he wrote the song again today, he'd probably talk about shopping at Walmart. But he does kind of affect an American accent in that stanza as well.
was once a tough.
Now he's going back to his British accent. And in case you don't know, when he says, I was once a toff, T-O-F-F, that's British slang for a person of aristocratic background, someone of the upper crust. So he's saying, I used to be a toff before he had to go on a low budget.
Don't write me off, 'cause I love you all now. I was once a tough. At least my hair is all mine, my teeth are my own, but everything else is a permanent home. Once all my clothes were ripped out, and now I'm a crack person. Low budget list, low budget. What did you say? Low budget. Say it again. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Low budget. We're on a low budget. Low budget. Yeah, yeah.
One of the greatest live bands of all time. Unfortunately, I missed my one opportunity to see them live when they came here to State University of New York at Geneseo while I was a student in the late 70s. I must have been on a low budget or else the concert was sold out, but I stood outside the gym. I couldn't hear much and I didn't get into the concert. One of the greatest regrets of my life. They were on fire all through the 70s, into the 80s. Many, many great albums, many, many great songs. And when you consider that the Beatles were all done by 1969, I've got to give the nod to the Kinks as being the only one that lasted as long was Rolling Stones. But I personally don't think that the Rolling Stones music, the writing, the lyrics are anywhere near as perfect as Ray Davies has been producing for at least 40 years, probably. I hope you enjoyed another little trip back into memory lane. To me, that's a song that will be very relevant today and unfortunately even more so in the future, the way things are going.
Holding in the way.